Rachel, I just want to know, what's up with you and Bad Boys? Okay? Where did this come from?
Are they bad? Or did they have the appearance of being bad boys, but they're really like soft, gooey?
Okay.
It's relative, right? You can talk about a bad boy in a book and you read it and you're like, yeah, that's a toxic individual.
Right.
They have all the appearance of it, and then actually they're misunderstood. They actually are like kind. They love their families.
They love their families.
Love their families.
Welcome back to House of Maher, a Wave original. Remove your cloak. You can have whatever's in the cupboard. The Wi-Fi password today is nightmare, all caps. You should know we have a few house rules.
Girls are magic.
Reading is hot.
And so are you. Make sure to watch and subscribe on YouTube because I'm wearing sunglasses today.
She's looking real cool.
Sunglasses
guys.
I'm looking like a
inside.
cool sunglass girl.
Future's so bright. She needs
I feel performative in a way in it. I'm gonna stick with it this whole time. If you are watching this, we are in Milan right now at the Olympics. Hopefully we're just having the most fun and we're just like
Finding love.
It
It was just Valentine's Day. Hopefully I'm smooching. I hope
right as this episode comes
Future
out.
me, you better be smooching in Milan right now, okay?
Perfect. Well, we have an amazing guest today.
Our fourth Maher sister today is an author whose hauntingly beautiful stories feel like they've been unearthed from an ancient library. She writes with a depth and atmosphere that has captivated millions, creating worlds that are as beautiful as they are dangerous. She's the #1 New York Times bestselling author of the Shepherd's King series, as well as the Stonewater Kingdom series. But more than that, she's an artist who speaks with incredible passion and honesty about the writing process, the courage it takes to be bad at something on the way to being good, and the magic of storytelling. We are so honored to have her.
Yeah.
Please welcome to the family, Rachel Gillig!
Yay!
Thank you. Also, that's a great bio. I did think you were going to say at first that I'm hauntingly beautiful.
That's what I thought too.
I like you guys. Stop.
Let me take it again. Our hauntingly beautiful guest.
No, I appreciate that. I'm really, really happy to be here. And I have to start by asking, how did you guys hear about One Dark Window? Because I need to find that person who told you and give them a kiss on the lips.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I have had it. I actually bought it on Kindle. It's been on my Kindle for a while because I think I just saw it in, the book talk sphere. People would talk about it and I'd be like, that one is actually, and when people talked about it, they would be like, this is the one. Like they had an energy about it that I was like, okay, I got to read that one. And then it's been there. And when we got to pick our first book club, they sent us a list of books and it was on there. And I was like, that's the one. We're doing that
I've
one
already
first.
got it.
We
I need
have
it.
to do it. So,
And I don't want to brag or anything, but I've also read your other book series this past summer.
Did you really?
The Stonewater.
The Night and the Moth?
Yes, I read that. And I don't remember how I heard about that.
You
but
just read it.
I read it in World Cup camp. I was reading that.
Because I was going to wreck to you because Sybil is a muscle mommy. And and we love that in this room, in this
we
world.
love that in this room.
I am that.
And you are that. And
you are that.
I also brought some signed editions for you
Did
guys.
you?
I did.
Oh my gosh, exciting. I'm selling them.
Because I didn't know where your guys. I mean, I know that you like to read, and I watched your with Emily Henry. It was so delightful, and all those things. But yeah, I was like, oh wait, they read mine. Oh my god!
Oh,
Yes.
I'd be reading
I'm really
yours.
excited to hear. About
I
this.
read One Dark Window actually in 2022 when it came out.
Did you really?
I was at Barnes & Noble during their hardcover sales, and I picked, it was like you get two, and then one's 50% off, and I picked up yours and one other, and I only read yours. I never read the other one, and I loved it, but it's been years, and I remembered when we went into it, I was like, there's something about cards, guys.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
this reread, I loved it so much, and I was like, I should have reread this a while ago.
Thank you. I mean, it is something about cards.
So I was
It's a little something.
There's a little something about cards in this one.
I did wake up the other morning when you were going to be a confirmed guest, and I was like, what a perfectly normal reading experience. Reading a book and absolutely loving it, and then talking to the author a
It
couple
is
days.
normal.
What a normal thing
can't
to
believe
do. What a
this.
perfectly casual whatever thing. Yeah.
No, I love it. I love that. Obviously, I mean, it happened before, but especially during the pandemic, there was an explosion more so because people were reading more, people were discussing it on the internet more, the conception of book talk. And so now that it's all happened, and especially romantasy and fantasy, and I'm seeing my favorite authors more out in the world too. I mean, they're being discussed, but then they go on podcasts too, and I get to hear more. I like hearing more about it. I'm first and foremost a reader as well. So like, I just love that authors are out there doing these fun things.
It's conversations I want to have and to hear. That's so cool because normally it's this one-sided affair you have basically with this art. And now, we get to know the people.
I say we head into the group chat, which is where we just go on with talk about what's going on online and whatnot. And we have John, I want to talk to you about
something that we've been discussing recently of when you go into a bookstore, sci-fi and fantasy is often on the same shelf.
Yeah.
And it is a pet peeve of mine because I'm not a big sci-fi girl. And so I'm like, just put it on another shelf. It's so I don't like how they're lumped together. I was wondering how you feel about that.
No hate to sci-fi. Where does the onus fall? Does it fall on the publisher to be like, this isn't fantasy, this is just science fiction? Does it fall to the poor bookseller who's just like, I don't know what it is, where do I shelf it? Like sometimes One Dark Window, even when it first came out, this isn't about sci-fi, but it was shelved on, and this happens to a lot of female fantasy writers, on young adult. And I'm like, that's interesting. I love young adult, but I would consider this as adult content.
Yes.
And it's by an adult publisher. There are hard lines, which is like, do I write children's fiction or not in publishing? Right. And I certainly don't. And so at the end of the day, it is marketing and they want to plop it all together. I'm just glad I'm not the person who has to make that delineation because I don't know. Yes. But the more you read, the more you decide what you like as well. And like you, I tend to wander into the fantasy section far more often.
I tend to stick there. So that's why I'm like, put the shelves next to each other, but let's just separate it a bit.
Yeah. I see them on romance shelves too, in this romantasy space. Yeah. I'm like, I can't find that book. They're like, it's in romance. I'm like,
oh,
interesting.
Okay.
There's also a whole world and plot, but there is
Yeah.
I'm reading a book right now, just started it, and the language used is very much almost too modern of language. Like it's supposed to be vampires and there's kingdoms, and then she's saying like, shit, fuck. And then he calls it his boxers, and I was like, I don't believe this.
Boxers?
In your book, you call it a gherkin or something. And I was like, you know what? Hey, I don't know what that is, but that sounds
keeps
about
you in
right.
it.
And there's something so that pulls me out of the story the same way. Like, it has to do with men's pants in particular.
Right.
I'm like, the word trouser feels so gross, but also I'm like, I can't call him his pants.
Right.
Yeah.
They wouldn't call it that back then.
No.
They really wouldn't.
It's really been taking me out of the story.
His leathers, his
leathers.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I have to use generalizations.
We just made a big video. We made a video where we talked about our lady parts as they do in fantasy books, like all the ways to do it. And we made a little compilation, like the bundle of nerves, the
feminine petals,
our sheaths, like
her core.
We have to go to the gynecologist to get our core checked out.
What about, how did you guys, so you go on like which ones you like, which ones you don't?
We just think the ones that are the wildest. You would never call it. You'd never be like, oh, my feminine petals.
The wet folds. I said like my folds. Or I called it my silken folds.
Silken folds.
It's a nice fabric, I guess.
Do you have anything else for us?
I struggle. I do. Writing a sex scene is like writing an action scene. You do want to be specific enough, but going back to what you're saying about like anachronistic language, like sometimes it certainly doesn't fit the tone of the story or just at least my level of prose. Like I don't want to get too purpley about it, but I also be like, this is what's happening. This is what's going on. It's not just like a haze of them like rubbing together. And so I try to be purposeful with my language. But yes, there are a lot out there that do give me the ick.
I'm trying.
What did you use?
So I highlighted in One Dark Window. What did I use? Well, I liked it because I was like, if we make another one, we need to somehow find a way to do this where it was. Scared. I mean, to everyone who is listening, I hope you read along with the Tall Tales Book Club, book 1, which was One Dark Window. Got a little spicy.
But tasteful spicy.
Tasteful spicy.
Very tasteful.
And it was, he kissed below my skirts.
Okay.
I was like, write that down.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I didn't want to be a hypocrite right now. I'm like, if I used wet folds, I need to walk myself out right now. Okay.
I like it. That's good.
I loved it. I thought it was beautiful.
We know what you mean. You're not getting too crazy with it.
Well, what I liked a lot in your scenes too is because we read from all the way over there where everything's really
first page.
I do too.
Whoa!
Yeah. To like I've read somewhere it's not. This one I thought was a really kind of more towards less, but the scenes, and maybe there's more than one, I don't know. The scenes that they did out I thought was very tastefully done, but not too much, because like, I think you read a book sometimes for the sex scenes, but this one, I liked that it was about the crazy story, and then we had that, and they were like, oh, okay, back to it. How are we going to solve
How is she going to get out of this?
I would say, which is, again, this will fall into the semantics of romantasy, where some people are like, it has to be 50-50, it's bubba to be a romantasy. My books are marketed as romantasy. I would argue, though, if you took the sex scenes out, or you made the love interests a different relationship, you made them platonic, you made them whatever, the story would still exist.
Yeah.
And sometimes like the point of a romance book is about the relationship, but mine is a romance within a broader story, I would say. So thank you. Yeah, it was always more about they're plot driven. There's an adventure. There's something's going on.
Do you think it's fair that your book gets called Romantasy?
I'm not too precious about it. Okay. Again, just being in this job, you do understand kind of the dichotomy between like what you artistically are trying to represent versus the business side of it, the marketing side of it. Obviously, romantasy is also very large right now. And so anything that can be described as that is going to get the attention of a large audience. I think it's a long conversation. The same way with how One Dark Window was put in young adult, a lot of it comes from the fact that women are writing these stories. There's a lot of male-written fantasy where there's sex scenes and there's romance is I'm thinking of some examples. I was like, is it romantic? I don't know. But there's certainly sexual content in it. And no one's like, ooh, let's put that in romantasy.
I find if it's a book authored by a woman and there's one scene, it's all of a sudden a romance.
I feel very lucky in my readership in that I think they enjoy both. I haven't had someone come up to me in person. I mean, I'm sure it exists on the internet all the time, but no one's like, you know what? I just didn't like that. I didn't like that it was called romantasy, and then there wasn't more romance.
And I stopped reading.
Yeah, they stopped me in the street, and they're just like, shame on, like,
how
that doesn't
dare
happen.
you?
Yeah. So it's interesting, though.
How would you classify the Stonewater Kingdom series?
I would say it's the same.
It's the same.
Yeah.
I mean, not to speak for her, but oh, you guys haven't read that? I read that. Yeah. Oh, it's interesting. You guys didn't do the work on that?
No, it's the same. You take the romance out or make them a different relationship and the story exists. It might be a little shorter. Cool. But I mean, I love those scenes.
Do you enjoy writing them?
Oh, yeah. I love them. I mean, that's what I loved. I grew up, we were talking about young adult fiction. Like, I grew up on that where there wasn't explicit sex, but that's what made it so fun. There was the yearning, the tension, the banter, things like that. Like, I love it. I love writing the dynamic. So
Yeah. What makes a great scene? Like, what are you looking for when you're reading to then bring into your own writing?
In regards to romance or just
into romantic, I guess, encounter?
They have to be, like, it's not about... You can write about sex without ever even writing about sex, I find. You can write about body language and, where the character is looking, but also just, like, they need to have an existing tension. So we'll use the example of One Dark Window, since we're here to discuss that. Between, like, Raven and Elspeth, I think I wanted them... It's them coming from different lived experiences, maybe even different worldviews, but then... And the tension is there from that. It's not just because he thinks she's hot and she thinks he's got a nice nose or anything like that. But no, there has to be built-in tension that doesn't have to do with sex. And ultimately, the sex comes by them realizing like they have more in common and things like that. Like they're getting to know each other and the desire builds from that. And I like writing banter. I like when they make fun of one another. I like writing, I think it's more scathing in the Stonewater Kingdom, but where they're just mean to each other sometimes. Like,
as Alona would know.
I would know.
Yeah.
You guys probably don't know. Speaking of banter, well, we are in the group chat. Do you have like a group chat with your friends? Do you have a group chat with like other authors? Do you have a fun name for it?
No, I'm a terrible texter. Okay. I'm a terrible human. No, I'm extremely introverted. And I don't like when I write too many voices. Besides, like, I'm talking to myself. It's a mess. Like, I go through a lot of things myself, but when it comes to, like, who I'm actually discussing work with, it's my agent, my editor, and I have my critique partner, who's just my best friend. Her name's Kaylee Cassidy. She also has a book out called In the Veins of the Drowning.
Oh, my goodness.
Romantasy as well. But I don't like to talk to people about things in progress. I'll talk to other authors, other people, all my friends about like other books we're enjoying. But about my own, no. I'm also mortified of a group chat.
Why?
Because I just ghost. Like I'm like that person
You're the
who
lurker.
just
kind of like,
You're
hello?
lurking, right?
I do observe, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's
Judging.
great. But yeah, I don't know. I don't do it. I tend to feel overwhelmed by it.
It's okay.
I'm scared when people try to talk to me too much.
I hear that. I have to put like on my to-do list, respond to all text messages.
Yeah.
'Cause I'll
and then
get
people
one.
will get like 1,000 in a day from you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's bing, 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 bing. And then the worst part is they respond. Oh,
I know. And they don't give me like
I gotta
I need
do it
a
again.
week for you to respond because it took me a week.
Because once I get done with it, I'm like, yes, I'm done. And then they text me back. I'm like, no, that's not how this works. But it is how
Literally
this
me
works.
for everything.
Yeah, because I get a text and I'll read it in my head. I'll be like, okay, great. And I'll move, I did it, but I gotta be better.
Yeah. Or in my head, I'm like, I have an answer for that. And that constitutes an answer to me somehow. And then I realize I haven't responded in a long time.
Now I'm the asshole.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
yes. I've settled in that position in life. So
You're cool with that.
Yes,
You're
I
cool
am.
I've realized my issue is I read my texts right when I wake up when I'm half asleep. And so sometimes I will answer them half asleep, or sometimes like I'll just forget it. I'll read it and forget it. And someone's like, but I texted you. And I was like,
You did.
I have no unread
Have
text
you
on
ever
my phone.
sleep texted because of that?
No, but recently I did get in a little bit of trouble. I woke up from a text from Olivia saying, what time can we have this call before your flight? And I was like, anytime before 1:30. Then the call's at 1, or is that like ended at 1. And I was like, oh, actually, I would have needed to leave an hour before to catch my flight.
Oh no!
But
Yeah, your
we
flight,
already
your flight
booked
was taking off at that time.
shit.
But it ended up working out. It was the first time I ever just like walked right onto the plane, didn't even have to wait.
Really?
So
Congratulations to you.
That's scary.
I loved it. Motivation comes and goes, but habits are about showing up even when you don't feel like it.
AG1 is the easiest habit that you can start now to support consistency even when motivation isn't perfect.
Especially in February when January motivation dips and winter routines need a reset. I just did my first run of the year, and I am for sure adding it to my routine just like AG1.
AG1 simplifies the process of getting your nutrients down to one simple step.
AG1 is your multivitamin, pre- and probiotics, superfoods, and antioxidants all in one scoop.
It's an easy daily reset that brings foundational nutrition no matter what your schedule throws at you.
Health routines don't need a full rebrand every year. Sometimes it's the small things you do every day, even when everything else is chaos.
AG1 has over 50,000 verified 5-star reviews and comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee.
For a limited time only, go to drinkag1.com/Maher to get a free AG1 flavor sampler and an AGZ sampler to try all the flavors, plus free vitamin D3 plus K2 and AG1 welcome kit with your first AG1 subscription order. This is a limited time offer only available while supplies last. That's drinkag1.com/Maher. drinkag1.com/MAHER.
Break through the busiest time of the year with the brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ.
Peloton's most elevated equipment comes with real-time guidance and endless ways to move alone or with your favorite instructors.
I'm at a 10:31 mile right now, 10-minute mile. I'm knocking on your door.
She's hunting you down. Peloton helps you achieve more in less time, even when you think you don't have any.
Peloton IQ takes the guesswork out of your workouts so you can train safer, lift smarter, and make every rep count.
With features that help you plan, stay motivated, and achieve peak performance, you can let yourself run, lift, sculpt, push, and go. Well, Peloton handles the rest.
It even has a new movement tracking camera that allows Peloton IQ to count your reps and perfect your form in real time, just like a trainer would do.
In the morning, I can do my hot girl walk on the Tread Plus and do my cool down stretches with one simple swivel of the screen. Easy peasy.
Peloton IQ creates a personal workout roadmap with weekly recommended classes led by instructors who match your mood, vibe, and personality.
Let yourself run, lift, sculpt, push, and go. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com. Should we spin over into some tea time?
I have a lot of thoughts on our book, so I want to learn more. Let's get into it.
Okay, team, the table is set, the drinks are poured, and the mics are hot. Let's get into tea time.
Rachel, I just want to know, what's up with you and Bad Boys? Okay? Where did this come from?
Are they bad, or did they have the appearance of being bad boys, but they're really like soft, gooey?
Okay.
I mean, it's relative, right? Like you can talk about a bad boy in a book and you read it and you're like, yeah, that's a toxic individual.
Right.
I try to skew towards they have all the appearance of it, and then actually they're misunderstood. They actually are like kind. They love their families. They love their siblings.
Love their families.
Love their families.
I find if you want to build off of the trope, which I almost always do on purpose or just because I love it, which is of the found family, you can't have an actual asshole as your main male character.
Right.
The love interest can't be an asshole. Some of his friends are like Raven you and that everyone's like, he doesn't even smile. But like they love him because he's actually like a good brother. Like he loves his like he's very loyal.
Yeah.
They tend to have to build up a rougher exterior because of whatever situation they're in.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I consider that to be kind of a universal thing. Sometimes we all kind of have our guard up about a lot of stuff.
That's what I loved about, I think, Raven specifically, is that he's got this tough exterior. He's driven. He loves his family. He seems like the asshole. And then anything to do with her, I'm like, walk him like a dog, bitch.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Super. I had a note in my very early edits, which I thought was so funny, and I still think about it now, which is when it was before Raven and Elspeth. This is like round 1. I hadn't added the like fake courting part yet. And my editor's like, this would be great. And the comment that made me laugh was like, yeah, they could just like his family proposes the idea. It's basically what happened in the book, but the family proposes the idea and Raven being a little awkward loser who's never had a girlfriend is like, okay. I was like, is that how he reads to you? That is. He's just like, okay, I guess.
Okay, fine.
And I thought that was so funny. So now when I think back on Raven and all that all started, like, yeah, he has this tough exterior, but he's like never had a girlfriend. I think it's so funny.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's a little awkward.
I love how you know these characters so deeply, like these things about like knowing they don't have a girlfriend and that actually this is how he would have responded to that. I think you have to intimately know the personality types of all of them.
Yeah, you know stuff that sometimes it'll never even be articulated on the page. It's inferred or something like that. You have to like make all these behind the scenes, at least for me, behind the scenes decisions so that I can
to know it and then be able
them.
to exactly. Actually, when you write about them, you know all of that and it goes into it. Is that kind of the process?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not someone who is there's like the school of plotting and the school of pansting. Yeah, you know what I mean? And I am not a plotter, really. I kind of like, I'll see where it goes. And I tend to get in trouble doing that. But when it comes to characters, I do tend to, that is the one part that I will plot. Before I start writing a story, I tend to work out obviously name, appearance, the superficial aspects, but also kind of like worldview, what they're coming up against, where they begin, where I want them to end in their journey as internal, like the internalness of them. But everything that happens in the plot, we'll see.
Plotting and what was it?
And pansting.
And pansting. What is pansting?
Oh, you fly by the seat of your pants.
Okay.
So someone like me, I tend to, sorry. It's one of those things like in publishing or when you talk to another writer, they'll be like, yeah, I know what that is. But I forget when I say this, in general. People,
I was doing that this morning.
Pansting all morning.
I tend to be more flexible when I write an outline. I get mad at myself because I'm like, you've boxed yourself in, and I'm railing against myself here. But but there are authors who like chapter by chapter, they know exactly what's going to happen before they even start writing. And myself, things change as you go. I tend to be a little more flexible. I call it a little more chaotic about it. So I have like what I call a flashlight theory where I can see it far enough ahead of where the story's going. And then everything else we'll see. I tend to know beginning, middle, end, and that's it.
Fun.
But the characters, yes, behind the scenes, I do work them out a little more.
The ideas behind your books sometimes are something I've never read before. Like even the Night and the Moth. I was reading, I was like, okay, interesting. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, we're hitting it. It's just very different. Even this idea in One Dark Window of cards and the cards holding magic and then like a nightmare inside the head. I was like, okay, I haven't actually read that because we get the normal of like, vampires and magic, which I love. But I thought this idea of cards, it took me a minute to kind of figure it out.
Yeah, there's a lot. They all have different rules. I hear that. It honestly, people, I take it as flattery and a compliment that people ask me the most probably about my magic systems, which is really funny because I I write them, I'm like, I will come up with the most unique thing. No, it comes from me just liking what I call like hard magic systems. So it's like tangible objects. Because as a fantasy reader growing up, sometimes I am confused by more cerebral or more like intangible, like, okay, they have the power, even just something like elemental power where, you know, lightning and you're exploded. But I'm like, well, how?
How does it cause
are
that?
they clenching their butthole while that's going? You know what I mean? Like, what is making it go?
Right. And what are the limits?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
where...
I just like the rules. So that's how that all came to be. And in like One Dark Window too, I like to kind of juxtapose it. There's something called the infection where there's magic that is completely out of control, not measured. It's random. So I use like a tangible hard magic system with finite and has set rules versus the opposite. But yeah, I think it honestly, and with the Stonewater Kingdom, they're objects as well. I think it just honestly comes from me liking magical objects a lot.
And what got you into the magical object?
Just a little freak, I guess.
Right.
What did give me into it? Honestly, it's just like the need to control the thing. I don't know. Like I grew up with some like classic fantasy, like
So like classic
Tolkien.
folklore kind of vibes?
Yeah, and like Tolkien and all the things. I like the wizard and his staff, and like I don't know. I don't really know. I think honestly it just comes from I like the atmosphere it brings. I like that it's fun to explore the characters because how they use the object will vary from character to character. You can explore a lot with that. I just feel like there's room to play. There's always room to play in fantasy, and I think honestly that's why I lean heavily into it, because I can do whatever I want.
Are you precious about objects in like your writing space?
Or just in your
Like,
life?
do I have my
Yeah, in
own
your own
magical
life.
objects?
Yeah, or something that you hold dear.
That's a good question.
Like, did you feel emotions for inanimate objects growing up?
Oh, I feel emotions for inanimate objects now. Like sometimes I don't. Like I'll go into a thrift store and be like, it needs a home.
Right. There, yeah.
Yeah, I am. I'm precious about a lot of things when it comes to like a lot of, I think I'm getting even more precious as I get older about it. Like I want to own my clothes long enough that they feel like a part of me. I want to own things for a long time. When I was younger and kind of like establishing style or establishing anything, the things that you purchase, like I feel like I go through a rotation. But as I get older, I don't want to be just like buying and donating in anything anymore. I kind of want to, I don't know.
Capsule wardrobe?
Yeah, or just like everything feels lived in.
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah.
So I would say yes, I'm precious about a lot. I was one of those like kids where I had to rotate the stuffies and the Beanie Babies because I didn't want anyone to feel left out.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
That's precious. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it is. It's something.
Who are some of your favorite, I guess, like maybe misunderstood characters, sexy villains, anything like that?
God. In literature across the board,
Mm-hmm.
Literature, or I'm going to say it, movies, TV, whatever.
I'm really enjoying, I mean, it's a completely different adaptation, but I love Guillermo del Toro, and the recent adaptation of Frankenstein was beautiful to watch. I don't know how I felt about Jacob Elordi, but then he was he was a monster.
He
did
was a monster.
the deep like voice of it all. To me, there's a disconnect between the book and that, but I did appreciate that. I wouldn't say the monster in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is a sexy villain.
Right.
He like murders children.
Right. Right.
Yeah. You're like, yeah. Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein himself either is not like the sexy Madden creator. He's this like wimpy guy who he creates the monster and the monster starts talking to him immediately. It's not like in the adaptations where he's like, ugh, and needs to learn to speak. He's just like telling him things and Dr. Frankenstein's like he has to go like swoon away. He's like gets the ick from his own creation and like faints and has to. I think that's really funny. I think men being dumb is really funny in literature, and you've got a lot of that. Sorry, that doesn't skew towards the sexy side of things.
No, but that's good. We actually literally we're going to ask you, what are your thoughts on that version of Frankenstein?
Oh, really?
So, yeah, it's literally on the screen. It was already there.
God.
Yeah, you brought that up. I was like, she's reading behind her head. No.
I am a little psychic, we'll say that.
Say more on being psychic.
I don't know if I joke that I am, but I'm not. But
this isn't coming from nowhere.
it's one of those things where if you say it, you shouldn't. Like, you shouldn't. Don't you guys think that, like, sometimes if you just say things out loud, like, it almost kind of,
I do.
Jinxing?
you rub some dirt in it,
I hear
and
you.
you don't necessarily
Really?
want to?
Yeah.
What about speaking things into the universe?
What a great question. I'm fine with, I like that. I don't tend to, how do I describe it? I tend to just want to feel open to things. I think we're talking in the sense of the universe, the opposite of a tangible magic system. I'm like, I'm not trying to hold anything intangible to my chest. It's impossible. I tend to just try to be open to knowledge, opportunities, open to failure, open to rejection, open to critique. That's a hard one for me. I tend to be a bit of a perfectionist, but I rail against that because it doesn't serve me. But, you know, when I'm right about things, I don't know. Maybe it's just an ego thing where I'm like, I knew it.
I knew it.
It's literally just me being utterly delusional, but I'm open to that.
Good
but
for
I'm
you.
also open to just being an oracle.
Right.
A prophet.
A prophet.
Do you believe there was ever magic in this world? Do you think there still is magic in this world? Like, sometimes when I read these stories, like about dragons or whatnot, I'm like, was there dragons? Was everybody talking about dragons back
like
then
each
and
culture
stuff?
seems to have their form of flying beast.
Yeah, or something. And then I will read, the Vikings believed in all of this. Like, do you believe that there is
magic in the world.
I don't believe necessarily in otherworldly creatures. I do believe in the magic of storytelling and the evolution of language, in that just because, like, the system of beliefs in, we're using the dragons as an example.
Yeah.
Like,
It is.
okay, like, do I think a dragon ever existed? I'm not saying no to anything, but no, I don't. I don't walk around holding this belief. I do walk around and holding the belief that people, their inner world, their imagination, their spiritualism, their beliefs, their cultures, their laws and mores, depending on what time in the world they existed in. I do believe that in symbolism, I do believe that they create otherworldly creatures or things like this to perhaps share stories, share culture. Sometimes they're used for something like propaganda, but as most of folklore tends to be. However, that being said, what becomes of that, right? Something doesn't exist, but it is used symbolically, and then that encourages people to change their own lives. Like, I find that to be a form of magic. I tend to think the make-believe, the storytelling has great power. And regarding actual, like, real-world magic, I don't know. I tend to think there are, again, this could just because I choose to be delusional. But I do think, nature in and of itself, the earth, the vibrations of the earth, the way that the ocean works. Like, I see magic when I see beautiful nature, or I think about the ocean and, like, the deep unexplored space, and I'm like, it's none of my business.
None of my business.
But it's insanely beautiful, and it's inspired people for centuries to come up with these sort of stories, to explore, to look beyond themselves. I don't know. There's always magic when you aren't necessarily just thinking about yourself. When you think that the world is full of possibilities, how can you not believe in something? I don't know.
I think because there are no answers, humans are always going to be looking for it. And that was what inspires us, like the folklore, the this and the that. I also, sometimes when I'm reading fantasy books, I'm like, oh, if I had magic, like, I would be studying so much. I would be the best magic user. And then I often am like, well, if there is, like, an equivalent in our world today, why am I not going after it? Like, if you want to say that science is our magic and, like, what we can do with science and medicine, why, like, that is a magic almost. Obviously, science is not magic. But it's I don't understand that. But it's like, I think that is such a, when you think about that as a whole, I'm like, that is an incredible resource, and it could be viewed the same way of why aren't we as driven to do that when it saves lives. It's our magic, you know.
Yeah, and there was a point when, you know, there certain medical technologies didn't exist, and before they existed, like someone had to want to prove something that they yet didn't have evidence for. They just had the theory. And so, yeah, the drive to study, to create, to explore, I do think comes from the idea that there is something out there that we haven't found yet. And of course, like, yeah, there are theories and scientific laws and stuff that are proven because someone took that initiative. But before, they didn't have it. They didn't always know. The earth is round, y'all. But we didn't always know that. Yeah. So someone had, you know what I mean? Like, we must begin somewhere.
Yeah.
And I do think that's a perspective that can transcend art, science, whatnot. Like, it can encapsulate all those things. Also, I've been crying on TikTok. Have you guys been seeing that penguin?
Which penguin?
Oh, the one who left his pack?
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
What happened?
It's like it's the we're all like, oh my God.
What happened?
I don't even know all the specifics because it makes me cry, and you hear like Werner Herzog's voice in the background talking about, like, you know, where is this? Is it in Greenland? Or
I don't know if there's penguins.
There's a very specific kind, but you're right. They're mostly not.
I think what happened is that if a penguin is feeling like ostracized by whatever a group of penguins is called, it will leave. It will, like, if it's not welcome, it will like leave on its own accord.
Wow.
And then, like, apparently a scientist, like, if you get the penguin and bring it back to the group, it will leave again.
It will still go. So there's just like an image of the penguin wandering towards the mountains.
All alone.
It makes me want to cry. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so I saw that imagery
Yeah.
because my friend sent it to me. But of course, this is one of my most obnoxious friends. It was that imagery with an animated penguin twerking in the sky above it. And so that's all I saw. And I was like, something deeper is going on here.
That's the actual footage. The rest of us are just...
footage. I was like, something must be going on here, but I will never know because this is how I found out.
Well, now you know.
Thank you, brain rot.
I love the internet so much.
Yep. Coming back from Milan, we tried a lot of good food and drinks, but you know what I'm craving most right now?
What?
A good espresso.
The Ninja Luxe Cafe is 3 machines in one: espresso, drip coffee, and cold brew, which helps you elevate your coffee routine to create cafe-quality drinks at home.
Right from your countertop. If you crave it, you can brew it. No barista badge required.
Barista Assist technology handles the hard parts. It guides you through the perfect cup without the guesswork, from grind size recommendations and weight-based dosing to automated brew adjustments.
And with hands-free frothing, you can embody experimentation, have ease of use, and curiosity to make drinks at home your way.
Enjoy hundreds of cafe-inspired drinks powered by espresso, drip coffee, and cold brew. Plus, you can take the credit.
Ninja Luxe Cafe is now serving cafe culture at home because it's not just about what's in the cup, but who you enjoy it with. Your sisters.
Brew bold drinks, serve fun flavors, and enjoy the cafe culture at home, stress-free.
Head to sharkninja.com and shop the Ninja Luxe Cafe, where you can enter code MAR.
Shop the Ninja Luxe Cafe today. No barista skills required.
Anyway, magic. Penguins twerking.
Penguins twerking in the sky.
Oh my God.
That's so funny. Have you ever come into contact with the Fae? Or, you know,
the fair folk?
Yeah.
No, but I grew up, okay, let's be real. I grew up on, so my grandmother had a lot of Mexican story books. My grandma immigrated from Mexico, and very beautiful books, but the old fae in her books, and then as I grew older, I was still very interested in it, so I learned about like the more European stories of it. They are not hot. They are like eat children.
Tricksters and stuff.
Yeah, like heard stories about how to feed the fae. They're like, it's grotesque. I'm sorry, I can't.
Well, it's kind of like when you look at the actual Brothers Grimm, you're like, ah.
I grew up sickly fascinated by it, the way I like elements of horror and body horror and things like that. But
she giggles.
Wouldn't want to have a run-in in that sort of sense.
Right.
There's a cute little walk that my son and I do, and there is a hollowed out tree where kids leave older toys. So it's like, leave a little trinket, take a trinket. And I'm always in my mind, like with this deep knowledge. I'm like, I don't know, son. But
right.
like,
I don't know.
He's very into it. I let him do it. So far, he's been fine.
Don't touch those toys.
You can leave. Do not take one.
He's not like a changeling. He still seems pretty normal to me. So.
But you're always keeping an eye
Yeah,
out.
I am. The fair folk and I. Yeah, it is interesting. I do love those sort of stories, though.
We had childhood friends, and they had this random stairwell.
I was going to tell this exact
house.
story. That's crazy.
She's Irish, and they had this like just 4 steps leading to literally nowhere.
They were going to renovate their kitchen, and so they were going to see if they could knock down a wall, and the contractor was like, "There's actually something behind here."
It reminds me of Coraline.
Something,
the other mothers over there.
Yeah, and she's Irish, like she's a very Irish woman, so she obviously had all these kids before, and she was like, "It's the fairies," and she like, and I got on that staircase and I touched the top of it. I was like, "You can let me in," like I literally like,
I'm ready,
because she like told such a good story about these fairies and this stairway that they found behind their wall. And that has stuck with me to this day.
See, these are the sort of things where my husband would be like, okay. And he's just like, whatever. And for me, I'm like, to quote Michael Scott from The Office, I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. I'm a little stitious about I just feel like that's not my business.
Err on the side of caution.
Yeah, don't touch. Don't look.
Don't touch.
Yeah, it's not my business.
So sometimes I see maybe ghosts, maybe not.
Oh, tell me.
But I am kind of the same thing of like, let them do their thing.
Yeah.
You know? And so I will be like, I'll see them in my room and I'll just be like, what's up? No, chill.
While she's sleeping. She's like asleep, but kind of
do you
awake.
See the hat man?
I don't. I've seen a bald man before.
Okay.
I don't know why that was stuck with me. But I see them and I'm like, yo, just chill, like come in, because I don't want to upset them.
That's good. So they're not like your sleep paralysis demon. They're floating around.
I will be like half asleep, half awake, like Olivia was recently saying with me. And I remember, I think that one of them was trying to get in through the window, and I go to the window and I'm like clawing at the window, and I will sometimes like fully wake and I'll be like,
whoops.
Wait a second. And then Olivia, if she wakes up, I was like, this is so creepy. I'm clawing at the window. And so I don't know what happened then, but
I basically woke up because since we were little, I've had almost a sixth sense for knowing when she's about to like speak to the other side. I don't know what the hell she's doing. You know what I mean? Where I will wake up and I'll go, she's about to talk.
She's doing it again.
And she will talk, and she can also tell when you're awake, even if you're facing away from her, eyes closed, and she'll kind of turn to you and start talking to you.
creepy.
I was a sleepwalker too.
Really?
One time I had such a bad nightmare. I ran out of our house. We lived in the country, so I wasn't going to get like run over. But I ran all the way up to we lived in a unit close to my grandparents' house. It was like a granny unit. So it's like a football field away. So I ran a football field.
Fully asleep.
Isn't that something out of that movie that just came out with all the kids running?
I describe it, sleepwalking, as you're not actually asleep, but you are in a completely altered state of mind. So I know I'm running. I have memory of running, but in my mind, someone is chasing me. There's not. I wake up in a very cozy bed, in a very cozy house with a loving family, and under my like fucking blankies, and I'm just like, I'm gonna die. And I would just go. And my parents, they probably at that point too had a bit of a sixth sense. They're like, oh no.
Uh-oh.
She's at it again.
Lock the door.
Yeah. No, I would unlock the
Rachel's got out again.
Yeah, she's at
Rachel's
Go
in the yard.
grab her. She's out there in the dirt. No, and I'm just there. And then slowly you do get that normal state of mind, and you're like,
oh,
I've ran in gravel
Not
with my
again.
bare feet. It's in my limited tube pajama set. And I'm just like, ooh.
Do you still sleepwalk?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
It is triggered by stress. I've gotten good about my sleep stuff. When I was postpartum, it was really bad.
Really?
But not sleepwalking, but like the sleep terrors of waking up just like, knock on wood, we aren't doing that anymore.
I feel like the question is right there. Did this inspire like the nightmare?
Yeah, right. Sorry. Good one, Dre.
Good one. Good, she's crazy now. Okay, let's go back. I wrote One Dark Window in draft 1 in 2018. And it originated from, it's a short poem called The Highwayman by Alfred Noyes. It's also in rhyme, which is where all the rhyming couplets me being like, oh, it'll be fun.
There you go.
That came from, that's kind of it's a very loose, obviously. It's a short poem and it's a full-length fantasy novel. took liberties. But, there's a dark-haired, the innkeeper's daughter's name is Bess, which I'm like, I don't know if I want her to be Bess, but Elspeth is a derivative of Elizabeth, which is Bess. And then the nightmare came from, when I was a younger person, I was an art history major. My grandma was a painter. I'm really into art. But the Henry Fuseli painting of the nightmare, which I'm sure you would recognize if you saw it. It's used in a lot of pop culture. It's just like that little critter laying on or standing. He's very eerie over a woman's body. It's very gothic. She's like, oh. And I love that painting.
Yeah.
And so like, and that's where his namesake is, the nightmare. Obviously me being kind of liking that sort of stuff and building out his character. And yeah, sleep is always an interesting thing. That space between being awake and being asleep is, it's a good, like, eerie kind of liminal space that I like writing about in fantasy. But yeah, I guess, sure, all lived experiences inform what I write.
Right.
But I have concrete examples, so I don't have to always tell people about my sleepwalking.
Yeah, you don't lead with that. Running through the field.
Yeah, but that's where all that came from.
I love it. I was telling my sisters, because we read a lot of books, a lot of romantasies and stuff, that when the nightmare was first introduced, I thought it was going to be the love interest.
You are not the only person to have said
and
that.
I was going to say, you probably hear that all the time.
I do.
But then, you started to describe it, and I was like, okay, gonna be tough, but nothing I can't work with. Nothing I can't work with.
He's crouched. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
A lot of hair.
Hair.
But I think I make him snarky enough for that people they can like look past what he actually looks
Right.
like. And they're like, if not love interest, why sexy?
Why sexy? Why sassy?
I tried my best to make him not sexy. Also, I thought I was being definitive in that first section when like he's there when she's a child. So because for me, like that's the hard cutoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
No, it's true.
But there's the painting.
There's the painting.
Yeah.
That's where it came from.
Okay, and the horse is so scary.
The horse is like,
I
my
didn't
guy.
notice the horse.
It's like the horse out of all spooky fae books, like
Really?
where they're
Because-
tricksteries. Oh,
This is one of my vocal like stims, but do you guys, I mean, I don't know how old you are.
Tell
but
us.
Do you remember when Vine existed?
Oh,
And
God.
there was that really funny them pouring water over this woman's face and she's like, hello?
Yes, I
That's
quote
the horse
that.
to me. And
Hello.
everyone is just like, I don't know. Everything to me is like, hello.
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 Yeah. So
Okay.
Anyway.
if I ever say hello like that, that's what I'm quoting. Is that fine? Oh, that's
Too much.
freaking amazing.
Sorry, I forgot where I was going from that.
You bring up the rhyming.
Yeah.
When you made that decision to do that, was there any part in all the rhyming that you were like, fuck this? Like you were like, or do you enjoy that part?
I enjoyed it, but then when I decided to, it's when I always make more work for myself.
Right.
When I try to do something stylistic
Right.
like that. So you have to be, you have to be careful. But it was my first book. I was a greedy little son of a bitch. So I was like, I'm going to put them in every chapter header too. And so when I was writing the poems at the end, I was doctoring those up before my final draft. I was like, damn, it's a lot of rhyming. Yeah.
Curse
You gotta commit.
Also, that's the funny thing about when people are like nightmare sexy. I was like, you have a Dr. Seuss fetish?
Yeah.
He is a little bit just like, and he's like,
Yeah.
I speak for he is the Lorax.
Right.
Speaks for the trees.
Right.
Except he's what I wish the Lorax was, which is like he could kill some people.
He could kill some people.
Never thought about that for the Lorax.
Killing some
If
people.
only.
I did when I was growing up. See, that's the thing. Like the Oncelers telling that story. And I was like, if the Lorax would have just like the Onceler after he made one too many Sneeds, I'd be like, we wouldn't be here in this environmental crisis. So-
Right.
I know. Sometimes I read a book and I'm like, if you just got rid of one person,
Why not more die?
You'd make it easier for yourself.
Then the book wouldn't exist. I know, I hear that all the time
Oh,
too.
yeah.
People are like, why wouldn't Elspeth tell them sooner? I was like, then it would be a 100-page book instead of a 300-page
Right.
book. But it is very, I think it's
Mm-hmm.
my,
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's right.
reaction as well.
Watching movies or anything with these two, they are such secondhand embarrassments. Like they can't do it. They have to look away. They don't watch things where I'm like, it has to be like that for the story
No,
because it's
some
gonna
of
come
it's
back
too
around and be
much.
okay. And they won't do it.
I hear that. Sometimes when it feels too convenient for the plot, I'm gone. Yeah. But sometimes I like a little drama. It really depends. It really depends.
I feel once they introduced the 15-second skip button, it was a bad day for me because now I really am relying on that. I'm just like, can't watch that.
And they,
Goodbye.
like, no, you need to experience the work as a whole.
That's very valid.
Yeah.
Okay, Rachel, we're going to play a game called Try Hard in Rugby. I like to teach everyone a little rugby whenever they come on the show. Do you know what a...
I don't know anything.
Okay, perfect.
I literally don't know anything.
She's like, hands up.
Fresh.
I don't know.
So in like football, they have a touchdown. When we score, we call it a try.
Try hard.
So we're going to try hard, and you're going to try hard to answer these questions as quickly as possible.
You can give a little explanation, though. We do
little
like to hear why, okay?
What's your coffee order, and what would Elspeth's coffee order be? Ravens.
Yeah. I like black coffee. But oh God, these are hard.
You got this.
Literally question one. Okay, I like black coffee. Raven would have an Americano of something, just where like put some hair on the back, and
Right,
Elspeth would be like, she'd like a latte though.
Yeah, I can see that. A flat white, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
She's like, she's got enough difficulty in her life. She's like, needs something sweet.
For sure. If you're quoting vines to me, what's your favorite meme right now?
Given the state of the world, what's that poor dog with the world's like burning around him? He's like, I'm fine.
This is fine.
Yeah, this is fine.
Yes. That's a good one.
That's everyone's.
Yeah.
What's more beautiful, heavy mist or crumbling ruins?
Ooh, I love a mist. I grew up in like the Santa Cruz area, a little north of here, and there's always like a marine layer, and like the redwood trees also have their own like micro ecosystem where it's like a little rainforest sometimes. So dense mist.
I like that answer. We get mist occasionally in Vermont, but it's never like heavy. But traveling and like being in Sweden for a while, like they get mist. You wake up and it always just looks like a storybook. It's so
lovely.
beautiful.
It's so mysterious. So gothic.
Favorite musician or favorite band?
I would say I have so many, but it's usually the ones that I can listen to while writing as well, that I'm just like, they're my soul music. So Florence Welch, Florence and the Machine.
Yep.
From day one, she's just...
Your outfit, your hair, your wonderful vibe is, we love the band Joseph. The three sisters, now it's two of them doing it. Have you ever listened to their music?
No.
You'd love them.
You would love them if you like... Yeah, I'm like, this is something they would wear on stage.
I like a lot of female musicians, singer-songwriters.
You would get into them. Start with their Tiny Desk concert.
Okay.
And then go from there.
Joseph is the name of them. Yeah, they're fabulous.
What's one thing you carry with you everywhere?
No, it's not cute. Now that I'm hand sanitizer, like this spray.
Smart.
Yeah. I do that.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Unscented. But then it doesn't smell, nothing smells good to me. I feel...
What do you mean?
Like I'll spray it. Like if I got a scented one, I'd be like, ooh. And then I do the non-scented one. I'm like, ooh.
So you don't do candles?
Rarely.
Really?
Yeah. I'm just picky about smells. I recently, though, I love them. I wanted, like, as I'm getting older, I'm like, what's my signature scent? But I tend to feel ill often when things are smelly.
Really?
Even beautiful smells. Ever since... Again, it was one of the fun things about being a mom. When I was pregnant, it messed up my sense of smell that I still haven't, it's not quite, it's very strong.
Interesting.
Yeah, where I could have tolerated so much more when I was younger. But I found the brand Fern, which does...
I'm seeing ads for that.
Yeah, so you're going to see more now that I've said this.
Yeah.
Like once that's it, I'm speaking into the universe.
Yeah.
No, they just do like seasonal perfumes. It's more like natural, which is just, for me, it means it doesn't last as long because it doesn't have certain like synthetic preservatives that it's just, I got the winter one, smells very good. Anyway.
All right, last question. What movie have you seen the most times?
Probably Henry Selick's Coraline.
Really?
Yeah.
You do like a little scary.
Girly.
I love Coraline. I would say like probably the contender with that was is Nightmare Before Christmas, which is also Henry Selick. People think it's Tim Burton, but Tim Burton wrote the book, but Henry Selick did the movie, which is, I also had just something about claymation, and it's so textured and so delightful. And I was also really obsessed with Victorian houses for a long time, which in Coraline, it's like a Queen Anne Victorian house. And I also even wanted to move to wherever that is. Neil Gaiman, who we will not speak of because he's grotesque, but it was originally, the book was in the UK, but when they made the claymation movie, it was in Oregon, set in Oregon. And, forget where. I think Ashland, Oregon, where they have the Shakespeare Festival. Anyway, I was like, should I move there? It was a hyper focus, and so when I have something like that, it's just on and repeat. So I've probably watched it like 1,000 times. I'm not even kidding.
Are you a Ren Fair girly?
I The only reason I'm not is because, again, it tends to be in the summer, and I don't believe in that. I also am not a big crowd person, but I love the costuming. I love Ren Fair to find out about artists and stuff, but I wouldn't call myself like a participant of it. But I tend to, now that I'm in the fantasy space longer too, like there's cosplay, there's all these things. I'm trying to just, as I'm in this space longer, to help and buy from like independent artists and costumers and fun things like that. Side note, the Night and the Moth and the cover and the sequel cover, they used custom chainmail that from an artist that had made some from like for tons of celebrities. Chappell Roan was wearing them. So
Okay, I was gonna say.
I just bought some of it to wear for my tour because I'm so
Yeah.
excited. So yeah. Anyways,
Oh,
that's
that's
like
so
that's
fabulous.
straight like Ren Fair coded sort of thing too. So I do appreciate it. I do love it, but I'm a witness. I'm not a participant.
I hear you.
Rachel, now that
Yeah.
you're part of the family, you've got to help out around the house. So
Oh,
choose some
gosh.
chores and you'll be given a corresponding challenge, okay?
Okay.
Dishes, vacuuming, or sweeping.
Vacuuming.
Well, people
Vacuuming.
always choose vacuuming.
I hate doing the dishes.
I hear you.
There's texture.
Tell us about your favorite fan art piece.
Oh gosh. I have to start with the beginning, which is when I was just a little baby author. One Dark Window had been out for a second. It had a slow, I would call slow, steady rise. But Charlie Bowater, who's a very famous artist who does a lot of cover art, read it, enjoyed it, drew Elspeth. I have it pinned. She did a few, but I have it pinned on my Instagram because it's just, I was such a huge fan of hers and her work, and for her to do that just for pleasure.
I love.
That's cool.
I bought it and it's like framed. It's a huge thing.
Oh.
In my house, you come in, it's like cute little house. And it's like boom, Elspeth.
Is it
like,
above the mantle?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's above one of my shelves.
Right.
Our house is basically a library, but yes.
Have you ever seen fan art of how people portray Raven? And you're like, that's not it.
Oh yeah, they give him like a pretty note, like just like a little like. I'm like,
Yeah.
girl. That
Yeah,
needs, like, he tends to be too good looking.
Yeah.
I think that, to be fair, I don't think that's just like a Raven issue. I think across the board, a lot of, as an artist myself, I love drawing women. So when I tend to draw men, I was like, I've feminized him in a way that, just because I'm, fuck men, I just like drawing women. So, but yes, I do tend to think, like, honestly, in fantasy, sometimes the men are harder to depict because we're used to the feminization of the main characters, which tend to be women. Raven is got that, like, I kind of see him like Dev Patel-ish in my mind, who I think is a very beautiful man.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Raven's just too pretty sometimes.
I've seen that because I love a fan art. But the men are sometimes have the same look about them.
Oh,
They just
tall, dark,
change
and
the
handsome.
hair color and like
Yeah.
the skin tone and whatnot, but it's all very much so the same.
My local Barnes & Noble gave me, One Dark Window was their monthly pick when it first came out. So they gave me like, I have paraphernalia. I'm not tend to be someone who wants to display these things, but I'm like, if I don't access moments of pride in my own
Yeah.
achievements,
Yeah.
who else will?
Do it.
So I'm very proud of that.
That's
Yeah, I didn't do it, but
My mom buys fan art of me.
Oh my God.
does
So
she?
whenever a fan makes art and they post it on Instagram, my mom then messages them, and it could just be some girl somewhere.
Of
Truly.
course.
And my mom will pay them.
If you're an artist looking to make money, draw Lona.
Draw a loan,
My mom will put
buys
money in
You heard
your
it here
pockets.
first.
Yeah.
Wait, I love that.
Yeah, so I have a whole wall of just like pictures of fan art of me. But I think it's so cool that mom is like these young artists she's paying.
Absolutely.
So, she's patron of the arts. Yeah.
Patron of the arts.
I
for real.
love that.
Real quick, you mentioned the chainmail for your book tour. Can you tell us a bit more about book tour?
No, because I don't know yet where I'm going.
Perfect.
Damn it!
I do know. I mean, so the book's coming out, The Knave and the Moon, the sequel to The Night and the Moth. It's coming out September 1st.
All right, I'm on it.
Yeah.
Keep us posted.
Last year for The Night and the Moth, I did a US tour. I kind of did, and I ended up, my last stop was here in LA because I'm home just a little north. So it could mirror that one. I don't know. It's the sequel. It may be lesser. I don't.
Did you enjoy it?
I did. It's kind of weird that I do enjoy things like events because I'm so introverted
Okay.
and because I wouldn't say being the center of attention is anything I ever sought, experienced, enjoyed. But like with work, you guys know, like sometimes you can access like a different part of your brain and you find that it's actually really fun.
Yeah.
So I also get to meet other authors when I do tour, which writing can feel really insular because you're literally just hunched over your computer crying all the time. Or the people you deal with the most, it's over email. A lot of publishing is in New York. Here in California, I'm just like on the Central Coast, just living my strange little life. But like, and then suddenly you're going from city to city, day after day, and I don't mind an airport. I don't mind a carry-on bag and just got my stuff and going. Like, I quite like it.
A little adventure.
Yeah.
Love that.
So ideally, there will continue to be these, and I will continue to have these opportunities and meet new authors and be on podcasts.
Perfect. We'll keep an eye out for that.
Thank you.
We're going to head on over to the book nook, which is, I mean, we've been talking about books, but this is now direct.
This is our
questions.
section on it right here.
As a whole, I think in romance, fantasy, we've been seeing a lot of not animated, cartoon covers,
Yeah.
And so I think that is a huge trend at the moment. But yours deviates from that.
Yeah, like you got to shoot for your books, right?
I did. Again, one of those things that wasn't in my hands at all, but I'm not mad about it whatsoever.
Stunning.
Yeah.
One of the questions I get often is like, if you do get a shit cover, do you have the freedom to say something about that? And yes. However, that has just never been my experience. I've never had to say anything about it because I have what I find to be very beautiful covers. I have, her name's Lisa. She's the head of the art department she's an art producer at Orbit US, which is my publisher, and she's done all 4 of my covers. And the most recent 2, The Night and the Moth and The Knave of the Moon, were photo shoots. Everything was model, the costuming, the set. The first one, I think, was probably harder for them to even do because she had to be submerged in water.
Right.
Insane. But this one, at least, she didn't have to be half drowned. When it comes to trends, yeah, it is interesting. I think, I would say the animated stuff doesn't fall as much into fantasy as it certainly does into romance. But yes, it's in a lot of romance books now. I like the bright colors. It makes me feel sunny. I think it invokes perhaps what I imagine they're trying to.
Yeah.
And then the same goes with fantasy. Some of the like big swirly scripts or the whatever, like it's invoking like, this is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Adventurous?
Right.
I don't know. I always wonder what it would be like to be trying to be the person who's deciding what's going to be the next thing or like, but I like high visuals. I tend to do both. It's like a high visual or it's very minimalistic for the things that I like.
So I wanted to ask you about your decision to put One Dark Window on Kindle Unlimited. I think I'm a huge Kindle Unlimited reader, and it's kind of like an unanswered question of mine of why and when authors decide to do that.
That is a great question. Unfortunately, not for me, because I don't decide.
Really?
No. There are 2 sort of things, though, on Kindle Unlimited, which is because it became so popular, again, during like the pandemic when people were reading more, it was originally for self-pubbed. To my understanding, I can't really speak to the self-publishing experience, but I know traditionally published books like mine where I don't control when it comes out. Basically, I would love a hardback always, but One Dark Window came out in paperback first. Like, I don't control those sort of things. So when they decided to put it on there, I believe it was the right move. It was for, because I think they were seeing the boon fantasy was having in that space. But I don't have any dog in that.
Know that?
No, but I love it. I use Kindle Unlimited. I love Kindle Unlimited. I've had it for years now. And it's a really great way to discover books and to just spend a lot of time on your phone reading. Or, I use my iPad because I'm an ancient entity and I'm just like, it's a very large thing to look at. But yeah.
Oh, that's a good answer. That's good to know too.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, it's funny. Publishing so much, like it's your book. Like nothing would exist without the work I put in crying on my computer. But also you have to really be well-versed in letting go. It's completely out of my control, again, when it comes to what happens to it after that. Once I'm basically done fiddling with the language, I'm done. So if they decide to put on Kindle Unlimited, how long they want to run the hardback versus the paperback, if I even go on a tour or something like that. I do my own tour perhaps if I was motivated, but it's an expense. And so I was not doing anything for a while. One Dark Window came out, didn't do anything. Two Twisted Crowns came out, and it hit the list, which was very unexpected, but really beautiful and delightful. And all of that had to do with something like Kindle Unlimited and things like that. But because like it was just a word of mouth sort of thing, like the promotion wasn't even me. So I still didn't travel. Like The Night and the Moth, my third book, was the first time I've kind of ventured out into the world. So I love to see it. It's out of my control. Maybe one day I won't be doing tours because things will have changed, but I just try to enjoy what I can. And yeah.
Cool. Seems like a good mentality to have.
Yeah.
I try. You know how it is. It's a mental game.
Uh-huh. Are you reading anything right now?
I am.
What are we reading?
I've been recently asked to do an article about other Gothic fantasy. And so for me, I had to really like hone it down because I'm not falling into horror. I can't do something like Frankenstein, or I can't do a lot of books that would actually probably fall more into horror. So I'm looking into, I'm rereading actually some of my favorites. And I recently have reread one of my favorite books ever. It's A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. Really, really delightful. And now I'm reading The Witchwood Not by Olivia Atwater. She did, speaking of fae, she did one called, it's like a fae regency. Like, they're really cute. It's romance with fae, like manners and mischief and all those sort of things. And this one is more Gothic. It's in a haunted house. There is fae on like the other side. Speaking of like the other side of the house, sort of like creepy. It's delightful. So I'm reading that right now. I'm having a really good time.
I love that. Is there a book you wish everyone would read? Doesn't have to be, romantasy, fake Gothic. It can just be any book you wish everyone would read. Besides your complete library.
Besides mine.
Yeah.
I grew up, I don't know, sometimes the older I get, the more I like hearken to the things that I enjoyed when I was a young person. Ella Enchanted. Do you guys remember that book?
We loved the movie. I didn't know there was a book for that.
Read the book.
Really?
It is the cutest. We talk about like fairy tale origins. Like that's for me as well. Like it's so good.
Yeah.
So cute. My paperback copy disintegrated when I was a little person. In this day and age, sometimes I want to read the things that reminded me why I wanted to do this in the first place. So read it. You'll have a great time. You'll read it in a day. It's really sweet and it's middle grade.
Good.
It's easy. Yeah.
Now, sometimes I yearn for just like being a middle schooler and just how walking into a library and seeing all of like the books from my age group made me feel like that the world was at my fingertips, like the scholastic book fair of it all.
Yes.
And I'm just like, that was such a time. And I think I'm always chasing that feeling. And I don't know if I'll ever get it back because I think part of it is you're so young, your brain isn't developed all the way that like to think the world could be that big. And now I'm like, I know how big the world is.
Yeah. You may not get it back, but I think you'll probably advocate for it for the rest of your life. For things like arts in schools, arts in readers, like a library, funding libraries, like it'll become political as you get older, but like in a really beautiful way because you want people to experience those things as well. At least that's how I feel about it.
I have another question. Any thoughts on your works getting adapted?
I have thoughts.
Yeah? What do we have? What kind of thoughts?
What do I think? I can't say anything.
I know. I was like, what did she say? That's why I'm trying to pose it
Okay,
nicely.
What do I say? Okay, we'll talk about, I'll use vague, grotesque, not like information. I'll tell you something but by telling you nothing, which is that fantasy is tricky. It's harder than perhaps romance.
Okay.
Budgetary wise and just sometimes like stylistically, I'm a picky, annoying person, which is like I don't want it to. We talked earlier about like anachronisms and things. with language. I tend to be really annoyed by a lot of adaptations of fantasy where they look fucking snatched to the gods, like her. Like eyelash extensions are looking gorgeous while she's fighting or something.
iPhone face.
Yes, I felt like iPhone face. Like we could talk about this for a really long time, unfortunately for me. But I like texture. I like lived in. I don't think fantasy needs to meet any contrived beauty standard. Like, so across the board, it tends to be tricky. A budgetary, just from a strictly like production value thing too, it's more expensive, it's less done, but we are living in a time when I'm seeing a lot of adaptations at least getting optioned and getting snatched up, and no matter what, like, it gives me hope. There's a lot of great books out there. We like original material. I want to see adaptations. I hope they are all done well, and so that's starting to happen with fantasy. So we're also seeing some exciting things in like animation and stuff. I don't. The possibilities could be endless.
Yeah.
We just
Would be endless.
cut out the iPhone face and we're good.
We're good.
Cut out the iPhone face.
Yeah.
Well, and that's one thing I always talk about is one of my favorite book series. I've talked about it many times, but Vampire Academy.
Yeah.
So the main character to me is somebody like me. She's really strong, powerful, and buff. And then when they make this movie and they choose these actresses, I'm like, did the author say okay to this?
Yeah.
Was she in there? And then we learned
I read what the author wrote.
Yeah, we learned from Emily Henry a lot of times they don't have as much say. But it's like, I would love to see that balance of...
I would love to see it too. I don't know all the ins and outs, but I do know something like the Lee Bardugo's Six of Crows. Like, the casting was so well done.
That was really great.
So I do think, something like that where I see why studios are interested, because it has this built-in audience, this built-in readership, and they're highly invested. But then, that has to be aligned in that you are servicing that readership by not just like, I don't know, whatever the studio decides at that moment. Like, it's about the readership as well.
Like, I feel like you need to get together the hardcore readers who
Right.
are making the fan arts. And maybe they are, but to be like, what do we think about it?
What do we need in?
Wrong.
Yeah.
Like, not because the outside people who haven't read the books, they'll watch the movie and be like, oh, that was a good movie.
Exactly.
But it's like,
Well, yeah, but if they're making it, they're automatically trying to tap in right to that readership. They can't exist in a vacuum. So they have to, in my mind, I'm okay with stories deviating. It doesn't have to be exactly what happened in the book. But they should. I don't know. There has to be something that's true to it. And I think even on a superficial level, like, characters, these stories are character based anyways. There should be some honesty and like truth to the two. But
My take, One Dark Window adaptation could be shot very practically. We're not going to need a lot of money. If you get
just need a fog machine, baby.
Need a fog machine.
Crazy
you get
on
a deck
that.
of cards,
You
you
get a
paint
deck
them
of
over.
People be tapping them. They got to act really well.
Yeah.
You know, if they're under control of whatever, you know.
Right,
Someone has the maiden card. You dress her up. You get her a little glossy looking. Maybe an iPhone face. You swap in an iPhone face.
yeah, she
Once
just knows
you use the maiden
just
card.
Get that
We put a
terrible,
filter
like, high
on
glam
her.
filter.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Somebody like,
Ione's just like,
yep.
That's actually, we forgot to ask how you pronounce Ione.
Okay, it can be pronounced Ione as well traditionally, but because I, in some sense, do get the say when it comes to audiobook stuff. So how audiobooks goes, they give you like auditions of a couple narrators and then you choose them. But especially in something like fantasy, when stuff is made up, they want you to pronounce names and places. And I was like, it's Ione. So now canonically, it's Ione.
It's Ione. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
It's Ione. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming over.
Of course.
Make sure you follow Rachel on IG at RM Gillig and on TikTok at Rachel Gillig Books. And make sure to check out her latest, The Night and the Moth, as well as her next book, The Knave and the Moon, hitting your shelves September 1st. And don't forget your cloak. We'll see you next week.
Thank you so much for coming over to the House of Maher, a Wave original.
Be sure to watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Plus, follow the show on social media at House of Maher for clips and behind-the-scenes content. Thank you
Thank
for
you
being
so much.
here.
Keep writing.
Get back to your desk
in the
now.